Peggy's 16.
We all now know Battlefield 4 is happening, but right now everyone's still getting their fix of the sublime Battlefield 3. I flew over to DICE in Sweden to get some unique personal insights from the team about their time behind the scenes with Battlefield 3. Lars, looking back, do you remember the moment of inception of Battlefield 3?
To be honest, it all started after Battlefield 2. We were extremely happy with what we had accomplished, but we had so many ideas still to be realized.
It's always been there that we want to build this, the ultimate Battlefield game. Moving the bar of what's, technically possible.
It was a huge undertaking for us. The building of Battlefield 3 was something that we've been working on for a long period of time. We have gone through various phases of the project, some of them that most people don't actually know about, but I mean, we actually, if we don't have something that we're entirely happy with, we actually take a new, thorough look at what we're doing, and BF3 was one of those projects. When we actually found the recipe of what it is that we wanted to build, we basically had the entire studio working on it.
Battlefield 3 is the first game where I feel that we got the creative freedom to build something amazing. Of course, the complexity of the project, turned into like a fresh start. It's like a brand new engine. We're adding a lot of new stuff that we've never done before.
I think the biggest challenge was from the perspective of technology, trying to keep on pushing the boundaries, and I would say that we definitely did with Battlefield 3. But those technical barriers, while you're still building the engine and build the game at the same time, that was really what sometimes made you kind of just wonder, will we ever make it?
We put all the resources we had big parts of EA helping out, building this game. So it was, monumental, and it turned out to be, the biggest thing that we've ever, put our teeth into.
We had already earlier that year, the launch year, we showed it internally at EA, and we realized that we were onto something.
We walked up on stage and we showed that to all the people in the audience, and you could see the shock on people's faces when they saw this game for the first time. That's when we knew that we had something that, we doubted it ourselves actually. It's like, how good is this? Is it really that good? Are we going to make it? But when you saw the reaction of the audience there, then we knew, okay, we're onto something here. We have a game that's going to be a massive hit. At Gamescom that year as well, we showed up with our multiplayer hands-on demo of Caspian Border, and we had people standing literally in line for 10 hours, and they had to close the line. Getting that kind of feedback from the fans and that kind of interest is amazing. For us as game developers, we are very, very keen on feeling what the people that play our games, what they think and what they like and these kind of things. And when you see something like that happening, people coming out of there smiling, etc., it's amazing.
Objective achieved. Great job.
Let's talk about the launch of Battlefield 3. How was that for you?
We worked until the last day when we had to ship the game, finally ship the game to the factory which printed the discs. And it just came flushing over us like a tsunami.
It was an amazing moment just to be able to see kind of everything we worked for so long coming together, and there it is on the shelf with other games.
What was it like reading the reviews from the critics when the game came out?
Horrible.
Exciting and nerve-wracking. If they pick up on things that I know of, it feels better, that I wasn't 100% pleased with. But if they find new stuff, that worries me.
Even if it's a very positive review, we immediately think that there's something wrong. They're missing something, or they're overly positive. People will get upset because they're overly positive, and then you have the other way around where people are overly negative, and you get really upset with like, oh my God, is it that bad? The game is, it's a horrible game.
When you meet the fans, does their feedback ever change the way you shape the game?
It definitely does. I mean, that's the whole reasoning behind kind of keeping the communication going with our community.
The feedback can sometimes be very single dimension. It's, you have to fix my problem, and then you have 10,000 people asking you to fix their specific problem, and they don't work together as a system. So we try to balance all these things out. We try as best as we can to create something that is working for everyone.
The whole Battlefield 3 project is now done. You're moving on to other things, but could you just sum up your feelings about Battlefield 3? How do you feel about the whole game and how it went?
It's been a ride of a lifetime, both with the base game but also then with Premium coming out afterwards. So I'm very, very proud of everything that we managed to do.
Is there anything you look back on and think, could have done that a bit differently?
There are millions of things we could have done differently, but looking at it from a big picture, I think we did from a high level the right calls. we did the right things. We've been trying our best to keep everyone happy. Of course, there are things that, okay, maybe that tweak on that gun post-launch, maybe we shouldn't have done that. Maybe we shouldn't have, you know, looked more thoroughly at the data before we did it.
I thought we had learned the lesson to not build an engine and build a game at the same time, so that definitely could have been handled better. But I think nowadays that we have Frostbite as a core technology within the company, that should be settled for the future.
We have probably one of the best balanced games out there when it comes to a game with this complexity. I have a million things that I want to change and I want to fix in Battlefield as a whole, and we are fixing those, but not all of it can be fixed in Battlefield 3, but for the future definitely we're looking into, you know, the majority of these issues.
And what does the future hold for DICE as a studio?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of interesting things, and these kind of questions is always hard to answer because we can't talk about it, of course. We are, of course, working with Battlefield 4, and that's going to be an amazing title when we actually can start talking more about that, of course. But we have other things cooking here at DICE as well that you will see more of in the future.